Hi students, welcome to the next session. In today's session, I'll start relation functions objective. Okay, in today's class, first I will explain synopsis means concept, definition and formula in relations and functions chapter. Already in PU this chapter completed. So once again I will recall the synopsis of relations and function chapter. Later I will start objective in this chapter. Okay, first in this chapter, first definition is relation. What is meant by relation? Let A and B are two non-empty sets. Let A and B are two non-empty sets. If capital R is a relation from capital R is a relation from A to B, then R subset of A cross B. First you need to take a two non-empty sets A and B. If R is a relation from A to B, then R must and should subset to A cross B. A cross B means Cartesian product of two sets. In first PUC already we discussed what is meant by Cartesian product. Example A equals to 1 comma 2, B equals to 3 comma 4. Let R is equal to 1 3 2 4. So first we need to verify this is relation or not. First I am finding A cross B, Cartesian product. 1 comma 3, 1 comma 4, 2 comma 3, 2 comma 4. Now you verify this R is subset to A cross B. Subset means what? What are the ordered pairs in R? These pairs are there in A cross B. 1 3, 1 3, 2 4, 2 4. Therefore, R is subset to A cross B. If R is subset to A cross B, then R is called what? Relation. Therefore, R is a relation from A to B. In this relation can be written as R equals to the ordered pair A comma B such that A belongs to first set, that is nothing but capital A, and B belongs to the second set, that is capital B. This is the definition of relation. Next, total number of relations. Total number of relations. How to find total number of relations? If set A contains m elements, set A contains m elements and set B contains small n elements. A contains m elements and B contains n elements. Then the total number of relations, then the total number of relations from A to B is equal to, formula is 2 power mn. This is formula for finding total number of relations from A to B. So here m is nothing but the set of elements in capital A and n is nothing but the set of elements in capital B. So this is the formula for finding total number of relations. Okay. Next concept is how to find domain, codomain, range. Okay, listen, how to find domain, codomain, range. If set A contains two elements 1, 2, set B contains two elements 3, 4, and here I am taking R equals to 1, 3, 2, 3. Now, what is meant by a domain, codomain and range? First, domain. Domain is nothing but the set of first components in ordered pairs in a relation R. What is the first value here? 1. What is the first value here? 2. Therefore, the set of 1, 2 is nothing but domain. Domain is nothing but the set of first components in ordered pairs in a relation. What is the first element here? 1. What is the first element here? 2. So therefore domain is nothing but 1, 2. Next I am finding range. Range is nothing but the set of second components in the relation. What is the second component? 3. Here also 3. No need to write 2 times. So 1 time is enough. So therefore the set of first components in ordered pairs in a relation is called domain. The set of second components in ordered pairs in a relation is called range. Then what about codomain? What is meant by codomain? Codomain is nothing but you need to take the second set completely. What is the second set? 3, 4. Codomain is nothing but the second set completely you take, that is called codomain. So this is what is meant by relation and how to find total number of relation, what is meant by domain, codomain and range. So this is a first concept in relation. Next we will discuss types of relation. How many types of relations are there? Okay, we will discuss. Students, before doing objective of any chapter, first you need to thorough in the basics. Basics means synopsis. If you know synopsis, objective questions are very easy. Without knowing any formulas or definitions, don't go for objective questions practice. It is very difficult. If you know the concept, problems are very easy for you. Okay, now we will discuss. The next one is types of relations. The next one is types of relations. Totally, how many types of relations are there? In this, first one is reflexive. In this, first one is reflexive relation. What is meant by reflexive relation? A relation capital R on a set capital A. A relation capital R on a set capital A is a relation capital R on a set capital A is said to be reflexive. Said to be reflexive if A comma A belongs to capital R for every A belongs to capital A. So what is the meaning of this? You take any element in the set, that pair it should be there in the relation. But one more important point, in the pair the two values are same. I will give a simple example for this relation. A equals to 1 comma 2 and R is equal to 1 1 1 2 2 1. Okay, students, what the students will confuse, 1 comma 1 is there, therefore R is relation. No, you need to check for 1, similarly you need to check for 2. 1 comma 1 is there in the relation R, but second element is what? If you take 2, pair is what? 2 comma 2. So here 2 comma 2 does not belongs to R. Therefore R is not reflexive. You need to check for every element which is present in the set. Okay, I am taking next one. R equals to 1 comma 1 2 comma 2 1 comma 2. If you take first element 1, the pair is 1 1. If you take second element 2, the pair is 2 2. Therefore 1 1 2 2 both are belongs to R. Therefore R is reflexive. Okay, you need to check for every element which is present in the given set. If you take first element 1, the pair will be 1 comma 1. If you take second element 2, the pair will be 2 comma 2. If you want to verify it is reflexive or not, so the pairs 1 comma 1, 2 comma 2 both are present in relation, then only that relation is called reflexive relation. In first example 1 comma 1 is there, but which is missing? 2 comma 2 is missing. But in this relation 1 comma 1 is there, 2 comma 2 is there, that's why it is called reflexive relation. For example, the set contains 3 elements 1, 2, 3. Now we need to verify 1 comma 1, 2 comma 2 and 3 comma 3. You need to verify for 3 elements. So in reflexive we need to verify the condition for all elements which are present in the given set. Now coming to the second one, that is symmetric. What is meant by symmetric relation? Okay, this reflexive relation we can take not only numbers, we can take human relation. For example, if I am taking the relation is sister. According to reflexive relation, the both elements are what? Same. Means what? A is sister of A. If you take mother, A is mother of A. A person cannot be a mother or sister to same body. That's why that relation is not a reflexive relation. Why I am explaining that? Students, you need to think example means there is no rule taking only numbers. Okay? You need to take the human relations also we can consider. Why? Because this chapter name is relations and functions. There is no rule of taking only numbers. You can take the human relations also. Okay, coming to the second one, symmetric relation. What is meant by a symmetric relation? A relation, capital R, on a set, capital A. A relation, capital R, on a set, capital A, is said to be symmetric. Said to be symmetric if A comma B belongs to R, that implies B comma A also belongs to R. If A comma B belongs to R, then B comma A also belongs to R. For every A comma B, for every A comma B belongs to R. Okay, this is the definition of symmetric relation. I will give a simple example for this example. A equals to 1, 2, 3. A contains 3 elements. R equals to 1 comma 1, 1 comma 2, 2 comma 3, 2 comma 1. We need to verify this is symmetric or not. First I am taking the pair 1 comma 1. What is symmetric? If you take AB, we need to prove for BA also. If I take 1 comma 1, what is the reverse of 1 comma 1? 1 comma 1 only. If you take 1 comma 2, what is the reverse of 1 comma 2? 2 comma 1. Next I am taking 2 comma 3. What is reverse of 2 comma 3? 3 comma 2. But 3 comma 2 is not there. But here students, what is the confusion? Sir, if you take the first pair and second pair, 1 1 is there, reverse 1 1 also is there, 1 2 is there, reverse 2 1 is there. But here 2 3 is there, but 3 2 is not there. Means what? You need to verify the condition for every pair which is present in the relation. For example, 9 pairs condition is possible, 1 pair condition is not possible. Overall, this is not possible. It has to satisfy the condition for every pair, ordered pair which is present in the relation R. Here best example is, if you take 1 comma 1, the reverse 1 comma 1 is there. If you take 1 comma 2, 2 comma 1 is there. But if you take 2 comma 3, what is reverse of 2 comma 3? 3 comma 2 is not there. That's why R is not symmetric. Understood? That's why this is an example for symmetric relation. Okay. Coming to the human relation, I am taking relation father. A is father of B. Actually, what is the reverse of the statement? B is father of A. That is correct? No. If A is father of B means B is not a father of A. That's why the human relation father does not satisfy which relation? Symmetric relation. Students, one important point you need to remember. If you want to verify symmetric relation, first you need to verify for every pair which is present in the relation. Sometimes what happen, for example, if relation contains 8 pairs, for 7 pairs it is possible, for 1 pair it is not possible, overall not possible only. It has to satisfy the condition for every pair which is present in the relation R. So this is symmetric relation. Next, coming to the third one. You need to write every definition what I am teaching on board in notes. You maintain separate notes for objective. Don't write in PU notes. PU notes is separate, objective notes is separate. So you maintain the separate books for subjective as well as objective. Why? Because here these concepts already we discussed in the board. But what is the problem? In objective there is a number of topics excess will get, and as well as we are using the shortcut for finding the answer. That's why you need to maintain a separate notes for JEE also. Don't write in PU notes. Coming to the third one, that is anti-symmetric relation. Anti-symmetric relation. Anti-symmetric relation. What is meant by anti-symmetric relation? If R is a relation capital R on a set capital A is said to be anti-symmetric. A relation capital R on a set capital A is said to be anti-symmetric if A comma B belongs to R and B comma A belongs to R, then A is equal to B. So what is the meaning of this definition? If the ordered pair AB belongs to R, its reciprocal BA belongs to R, then A and B both are equal. That is the definition for anti-symmetric relation. What is the difference between symmetric relation and anti-symmetric relation? In symmetric relation, if AB belongs to R, then BA also belongs to R. But in anti-symmetric relation, if AB belongs to R and BA belongs to R, then A equals to B. This is the definition for anti-symmetric relation. Now coming to the fourth one, that is transitive relation. Transitive relation. Okay, what is meant by transitive relation? Okay, a relation capital R on a set capital A is said to be transitive if A comma B, B comma C belongs to R, then A comma C also belongs to R. These two values are must and should same. Okay, if A comma B, continuity, connectivity is big, A comma B, B comma C, then A comma C also belongs to R, then that relation is called transitive relation. In this, one special case is there. If first pair exists, but the second pair does not exist, only first pair exists, second pair does not exist, but that can be considered as transitive. Why? Because if you want to compare, we require how many ordered pairs? 2 ordered pairs. But here only one pair exists, second corresponding pair does not exist. In that case also, it can be considered as transitive relation. I will give an example for this transitive relation, less than. Less than is a best example for transitive relation. Why? Because A less than B, B less than C, then I can write A less than C. What is the meaning of A less than B? A comma B. What is the meaning of B less than C? B comma C. That implies, what is the meaning of A less than C? A comma C. If A comma B, B comma C belongs to R, then A comma C also belongs to R. That can be considered as transitive relation. But here, this condition is exists for every possible pairs. For every A comma B, B comma C. For every A comma B, B comma C, you need to satisfy. Then the resultant pair will be A comma C. This is the definition for transitive relation. Now coming to the fifth one, that is equivalence relation. Equivalence relation. Simple. What is meant by equivalence relation? A relation capital R on a set capital A is said to be equivalence. A relation capital R on a set capital A is said to be equivalence if R is reflexive, comma, symmetric and transitive. Reflexive, symmetric and transitive. If it is satisfied these three conditions, then that is called equivalence relation. So this is the fifth type of relation. Now coming to the sixth one, that is inverse relation. Next one is what? Inverse relation. What is meant by a inverse relation? Children, inverse relation means if R equals to A comma B such that A belongs to capital A, B belongs to capital B. This is any relation. Then its inverse relation is denoted by R power minus 1. It is also called as R inverse. Now these two values will be interchanged. That is nothing but B comma A. This is A comma B, this is B comma A, where again A belongs to capital A, B belongs to capital B. This is inverse relation. See here, R is relation from A to B, but R inverse is a relation from B to A. So this is concepts of relations synopsis. Next, we will discuss synopsis for functions chapter. So relation synopsis over. Next I will start the synopsis for functions. Okay. Next definition is function. Let A and B are two non-empty sets. A and B are two non-empty sets. And function is a rule. Function is a rule such that every element in set A having unique image. Unique means what? Only one. Every element in set A having one and only one image in set B, then it is called a function. It is defined as, it is written as f is a mapping from A to B. F is a mapping from A to B. So once again listen, let A and B are the two non-empty sets, and function is a rule such that every element in set A having unique image in set B. For example, I am taking the representation, diagrammatical representation. This is set A and this is set B. A contains 4 elements. B contains 3 elements. 1 is related to 5. 3 is related to 6. 2 is related to 7. It is not a function. It is not a function. Why? According to definition, every element in A, but 4 is not having image in B. What is image of 1? 5. What is image of 2? 7. What is image of 3? 6. So if we take the function is f, we can write f of 1 is equal to 5, f of 2 equals to 7, f of 3 equals to 6 if there is a function. Means the image of 1 is 5, image of 2 is 7, image of 3 is 6. The right side set values are the images of the left side set. If you want to say reverse, 1 is called pre-image of 5, 2 is called pre-image of 7, 3 is called pre-image of 6. Understood? 5 is image of 1, 7 is image of 2, 6 is image of 3. If you want to use these values first, 1 is pre-image of 5, 2 is pre-image of 7, 3 is pre-image of 6. So this is not an example for function. Coming to the next. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is set A and this is set B. 1 is related to 4, 1 is related to 6, 2 is related to 5, 3 is related to 7. It is also not a function. Why it is not a function? Every element is having images now. I told every element in set A having unique image. But you observe, 1 is having how many images? 2 images. 1 is having image 4, 1 is having image 6. A single element does not contain 2 images, but here a single element having 2 images, that's why it is not a function. Coming to the third example. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1 is related to 5, 2 is related to 5, 3 is related to 6, 4 is related to 7. This is set A and this is set B. It is a function. Don't confuse. Sir, here 1 is having same image, 2 is having same image. No problem. I will give a simple example. If you take 2 exams, maths and physics, the student get 25 in maths and 25 in physics is possible? Yes. 2 different subjects, same type of marks is possible. Reverse. A single subject, 2 different types of marks possible. That is nothing but in mathematics he got 25 and 24. No. That's why it can be accepted, but this can't be accepted. Why? A element which is having unique image. But here you observe, 1 is having image 5, 2 is having image 5, 3 is having image 6, 4 is having image 7. Now, every element in set A having one and only one image in set B. That's why this third example can be considered as a function. So, it is a function. This is example for functions. Next, coming to the next one. 1 function. It is also called as injective. One function, it is also called as injective. Okay, let us discuss what is meant by one function. A function f is mapping from A to B is said to be 1. A function f is mapping from A to B is said to be 1 if different elements in A having different images in B. Different elements in A having different images in B. This is the definition for function. I will take a simple example. A 1, 2, 3. B 4, 5, 6, 7. 1 is related to 4, 2 is related to 5, 3 is related to 6. This is function or not first? Yes. Why? Because every element in set A having one and only one image in set B. It is a function. Next, we need to verify it is one function or not. What is one function? Different elements in A having different images in B. Don't confuse. Sir, here right side one value empty is there. No problem. If right side empty is there, it can be a function. But left side value, it should not be empty. Now this is f is 1. Coming to the next. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is A, this is B. 1 is related to 5, 2 is related to 5, 3 is related to 6, 4 is related to 7. First, you need to verify it is function. Yes. Every element in set A having one and only one image in set B. What is image of 1? 5. Image of 2? 5. Image of 3? 6. Image of 4? 7. Every element in set A having one and only one image in set B. So, it is a function. Now, we need to check it is one function? No. Why? Because one function means different elements are having different images. But here, different elements are having same image. That's why f is not 1. So, this is 1 definition. But we are using few more definitions in problems. A function f maps A to B is 1 1. A function f maps A to B is 1 1. Now the first definition. Suppose f of x1 is equal to f of x2. That implies x1 is equal to x2 for all x1 comma x2 belongs to set A. What is the meaning of this definition? If the functional values are same, then their elements also same. This is also one of the definition for 1 1. Students, in problems we are not using most of this definition, we are depending on this definition. If the functional elements are same, then its values also same. That is also called as definition of 1 1. F of x1 is equal to f of x2. That implies x1 is equal to x2 for all x1 x2 belongs to A. Now coming to this. Suppose if x1 not equals to x2, that implies f of x1 not equals to f of x2. If x1 not equals to x2, that implies f of x1 is not equals to f of x2. It is also a definition for 1 1 for all x1 and x2 belongs to the set A. If the elements are not equal, then their functional values also not equal. This is also one of the definition for 1 1. Coming to the third one. Any line parallel to x-axis, any line parallel to x-axis cuts the graph only at one point. Any line parallel to x-axis cuts the graph only at one point is called 1. Any line which is parallel to x-axis cuts the graph only at one point. It is also definition for 1. I will give a simple example. This is x-axis. This is y-axis. This is a graph of function f of x. You draw a line. This line is parallel to which axis? X-axis. And this line cuts the graph at only how many points? 1 point. Any line which is parallel to x-axis cuts the graph at only 1 point, then the function is called 1 1. So totally we have 4 definitions for 1 1. 1 1 also called as injective. This is a theoretical definition. These 3 definitions we are using in problems.